Yes.
Welcome, gentlemen. I can't help feeling after all this talk there that this is going to be mostly questions because you covered a hell of a lot there. I'm not quite sure what the full discussion is going to be around the table now. I mean, I'll throw in a question just to start the thing off. Chrome 6, it can continue to be used, can't it, after the UK reach 21st of September 2024?
Forward, yes. I don't know for the UK if it can be used after this deadline. For Europe, or let's say the rest of Europe, definitely not, as long as you didn't ask for some exception. You could ask for some exception for application, which must be done until March of last year. If you did not apply on time, you will not be longer allowed to use it anymore.
Now, the sunset date was sort of set, but that's been moved once already, hasn't it?
The first deadline was in 2017,
right.
And it was moved up to 2024. So, again.
So could that get moved again?
No.
That's definitely set in stone.
Not for this industry.
Okay. Would it still be permissible or possible to use Chrome 3 based pre-treatments using chromates in a safer form after the 21st of September?
The limitation is not the final product, the limitation is the use of hexavalent chromium. Doesn't matter if in the product or in the prefabrication step. This is the limitation of using this, let's say, the manufacturing of these such products. In the final application, talking about trivalent chromium instead of, let's say, hexavalent chromium. Yeah. The only difference for me is the toxicity of the chromate which is used in the system.
Right.
All systems fulfill the same quality aspects followed by QUALICOAT, except the bare corrosion. But I think in aluminum finishing for facades and curtain walls, we do not look for bare corrosion. Bare corrosion means unprotected, uncoated surfaces. As we always talk about coated surfaces, I do not see any big difference quality-wise between chromate, hexavalent chromate, trivalent chromate, or chrome-free conversion. The only difference, and sorry to say that, is a little bit ahead is the anodization as a pre-treatment prior to paint. As I explained, simply due to the thickness of the layer which is applied on top of the material, which gives, due to the thickness, a better corrosion protection. But from the chemical conversion, I do not see any big difference. And for this reason, I would say, for me, there is no need to talk about trivalent chromium passivation, as we do have established, many established chrome-free passivation systems on the market. And I do not see a big plus. When we talk or compare with hexavalent chromium, there is still this discussion, we have a visible layer control, which makes it easier for the applicator. Yes, it's true. But for the trivalent chromium, the layers which are applied are the same invisible as the chrome-frees are, so there is no difference and no advantage in handling as such. This is actually my experience. The tolerance against foreign contamination of the processing bases are also not big different between chromate containing and chrome-free systems, except the yellow chrome, but yellow chrome will be banned, so it's just my personal feeling. I do not see any need for having a trivalent chromium passivation as long as we talk about painted surfaces. There is for industry, for industrial parts, which are not coated necessarily, there are differences due to a better bare corrosion protection. Yes, true, but here in facade and building, no need for me to look on any chromate containing system.
Do you go along with that, Alice?
I'm more from the test side of the application, more than the chemical side, so I'm kind of coming from a different angle, making sure the process works and repeatability and reproducibility.
Right. And your side?
So my colleagues are the more of the experts.
I can only agree with what's been said.
It's boring. Can't you be controversial?
Well, no, I've battled for Chrome for many years, but I eventually decided that the Chrome-free products we've developed, the same as bigger companies, and we get very good results as well. So
Right.
there's really, I think chrome is about to hang its boots up.
That's interesting. Again, I was given one here saying that there is some reluctance in the specification market to specify chrome-free pre-treatment systems, particularly for external facades. Is that justified?
I think all of the results that are being seen and produced by producers of chrome-free products would dispute that. I mean, we as an organisation, same as I would imagine Chemetall, we put product on test over and over again to see what kind of results we can achieve. And you know, you really cannot argue for the continued use of chrome.
Right.
So it really is coming to the end of its day. There is a consortium in the UK, I believe, that is going to look for further authorisation. That will be more specific to industries such as aerospace, where they really cannot find alternatives for bare metal corrosion. They are trying very hard.
I mean, if we go down the route of pre-anodizing, is there enough capacity in the UK to go that route?
I would think you'd need to speak to the applicators.
Well, the big problem with pre-anodizing is that it's a great pre-treatment for extrusion.
Right.
Particularly if you have to handle the product after pre-treatment. It's very hard to transfer that material. Pre-anodizing, you damage the pre-treatment if you handle the surface, and therefore it's not suited for panel work.
Right.
It's all component work.
So you'd have to stick with the chrome variant?
No, it's strictly non-chrome.
Sorry, okay, right.
Non-chrome is perfectly suitable. The other point with those, the point you just made about still arguments it's not suitable for external work. The track record, as Oliver just said, 25 years, it's been around 25 years, I believe, it's been QUALICOAT approved. And there is a far greater surface area of aluminium coated with chrome, non-chrome free treatment than there is with pre-anodized treatment.
Right.
To talk about capacity.
Yeah.
There are people that have been using it 100% for over 20 years. Large players, and there has been very little capacity. There is some capacity in pre-anodizing it, but the track record is much smaller. And the track record, particularly in Europe, for non-chrome. So
Right.
where's your argument? It's not suitable. Where the same protagonist would say he's happy to use pre-anodizing.
Yeah. So the question is that going to expand? Will we get more?
If you look, we have two aspects. When we look from quality aspects, it's by far the best option we can have.
Right.
But don't forget the economical aspects. Anodization or pre-anodization is by far much more expensive per square meter or square foot compared to the classical chemical conversion coating. So, and for many areas of the world, no need for this high demanding anodizing as pre-treatment. For coastal areas, high industrial climate, yes. But for standard countryside, no need. So I think both has his right to survive.
Yeah, horses for courses, then,
Yes.
basically. So,
the issue is capacity. You don't need as much capacity as Oliver was saying, and you alluded to, is horses for courses. Some areas need pre-anodizing, so we pre-anodize because it's more demanding of the coated aluminium, and whereas the standard requirements, it's basically chrome-free, meets chrome now with standard. But let's not sort of totally mix things up. That's as Oliver said, pre-anodizing is particular, it's more expensive, it's true, but it does satisfy certain parts of our need in the industry.
There is a problem with pre-anodizing. When you're using chrome-free, basically water can get in there, it'll react. Pre-anodizing, you've got the Faraday cage effect, So we've got problems with complicated shapes, sharp corners, where you cannot get the current flow from there. Pre-anodizing is limited to complicated shapes, where non-chrome, there's water in there, it will pass away.
It's all getting a bit above my pale.
Non-chrome is mainly water,
That's what I mean, but
so wash it out with the rest of the tank.
but you passivate it. If you get water in there, you passivate. With pre-anodize it, you've got a Faraday cage there. If you can't throw an electric current in there, it won't anodize.
I think what Brad is saying, that if you've got particular sections where they would not normally anodize because of the shape and the positions of the electrodes, well, chrome-free would be the better option.
That's
So,
not the obvious what we're serving out.
Yes, no, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so.
But only in case you apply chrome-free in the immersion. If you go for spray or cascade application, then
Well,
we can discuss the inner coverage, the coverage of the inner surfaces. So, agreed. We have limitations
You
of
can
all systems.
anodize inside a tube.
Well, clear. Agreed. Yeah. But I do not see big limitations when we talk about edges on again. We talk pre-anodization, we talk about 5 microns average requirement. And you will find easily 0.5, 1 or 2 microns every area on the profile, except the inner side. This is clear.
You can't have it as close as you get either, so
Yeah.
there's a big free treatment in there.
Yeah.
Right, it's probably a question that I think quite a lot of the fabricators and systems companies might want to know, is that if chrome is going to be outlawed in 24, and specifications are being written now for buildings that will be built post 2024, but those specifications include chrome, how is our industry going to support itself in ensuring that those specifications are converted into pre-anodized or chrome-free, away from chrome, when the people who are writing the specifications and ensuring the buildings will refuse to do that because they're scared? How will you guys support us in turning those round such that when you talk about capacity, there are very, very few chrome plants now left and getting less and less and less. And that's where the problem could occur. So we really need you guys to write to the big specification houses, the consultants and some of the small industry advisors who will not change.
Would be easy if we could say, I'm not official from QUALICOAT, but if we could say effective commencing in September 2024, chromate is gone, it's history. So no longer, we will simply delete it from the specification. So I cannot tell you this. The problem is what I can see, as I told you, there are the options to apply for some exception to use the chromate after 2024. Not from the supplier side, like us, from the applicator side. And I know not so many, but I know at least in Europe, 10, 12, 15 companies, coating companies, already have asked for exception, which is not decided yet. But if they get the exception, then we cannot delete any, let's say, reference to chromate because they are allowed to use. If they will not get the exception, then we can easily say, look, for the architectural industry, facades and curtain walls or whatever, chromate is no longer valid, allowed after 2024. We can delete, but this is not my decision. It will be taken out or not. I just can tell you from company-wise, we from BASF and Jupiter, we have decided, at least for EMEA, this means Europe and Middle East, we will not, after 2024, we will no longer have any chromate in our product portfolio.
I can speak for the UK. In the UK, there are effectively health and safety executives in a form like Europe. There will be 2 exceptions in the UK. One is aerospace,
Clear?
and the other one is going to be yellow goods.
Yeah.
The JCBs. The reason the yellow goods are, their main market is the USA, and the USA is not Those are the only two exceptions.
Yeah, but this is nothing, not related to our, let's say, classical aluminum finishing QUALICOAT. This is okay.
Those are the only two exceptions in the UK.
So, if we are lucky, there will be no exception granted to companies working for architectural applications like we do here in QUALICOAT. Then, my opinion is we can simply take it out from all the descriptions and paperwork. But this is not my decision. I will take it out.
I want to recount something I was told earlier this year. A senior partner of a major London architectural practice had been advised by its facade consultant not to use polyester powder coating anymore because of the phasing out of the program. Now, my understanding from what I knew at the time, people have asked in your presentation, that is just a myth. It's or would you say there's any substance in that?
Let me take another example. When I will go back 10, 15 years ago, and I think it's no secret, and I do not disclose any secrets from the quality inspections in the quality family, in the QUALICOAT family. To those of you who are not familiar with this, QUALICOAT members, quotas, are inspected twice per year by independent inspectors to check the quality according to the QUALICOAT specifications. In most cases, they pass all the tests, but in some cases they fail. It has to be repeated. And in some rare cases, the quota lost his license due to not fulfilling the quality requirements. But I can tell you, 10, 15 years ago, we had many of the negative inspections. Negative inspection means in terms of corrosion behavior, filiform corrosion or salt sprayed. Looking at the percentage of negative inspections having chrome-free pre-treatment underneath the paint was much higher compared of today. Today we have more negative inspection in ratio, in percent, looking at chromated surfaces. So there must be, and you may remember when I showed you, we have this the perfect result only when we look to substrate plus pretreatment plus paint. And sorry, at the chapter of paint I left some blank because this is still some for me some book with some secrets, because we know, the industry knows many things about the substrate. The industry knows many things about pretreatment. The powder industry knows many things about the powder and composition. But there is still a small gap between to understand what is real counteraction between the pretreatment and the powder application. Otherwise, there would not be any negative inspection. If we would not know all everything, fine. So I think, come back to your question, I'm not sure, but I think also the powder manufacturing industry, due to new designs, new requirements in terms of combustibility, what we have learned today, whatever, putting them on needs to change their formulations. And then they may know, they may learn, maybe we will learn there is some different chemical interaction between pre-treatment and paint system. Yes, and maybe it comes to this recommendations, please do not use any longer this type of paint, of this of powder, not disclosing why they are saying this, but having on mind the quality performance today is not good enough that you are able to apply. Look, the discussion we had, powder, TGIC containing systems, I think all of us you know, TGIC free systems. We still have regions of the world, here in Europe, TGIC is, I don't know for UK, for England, but in Central Europe, TGIC is forbidden to use as a primer to powder paint systems. In Asia Pacific, it is still common raw material. And the performance of both families, TGIC containing powders and TGIC free powders, are completely different in terms of the pretreatment. It's let's say, to show the complexity of the system. There is not one universal solution for everything. It would be easy for everyone if we would have some like this, but it's not. So again, to your question, maybe there is either some political reason, yeah, could be, but I could also imagine there is really a technical background. saying please do no longer use this type of coatings with chromate or chrome-free pretreatment. Yes, could be.
And that's where we're going to have to wrap it up, I'm afraid. I could take one question very quickly if it was only for Alistair, who sat here very, very patiently.
I'm willing to say.
You could say hello anyway.
I'll say hello.
Thanks very much, all of you.